Good morning. Today we are going to deal with Hello, Unit 1, Getting Away, which is prepared by teacher Niveen Sa'a. What is included in the presentation? The main vocabulary, the grammar, past simple and past continuous. The exercise choose based on grammar and vocabulary, filling gaps, dialogue, situation, and translation. First of all, we have to know the objectives of our unit. In the reading, we are going to read an article about ecotourism, 2 plugs about the summer holidays, writing an essay on ecotourism, listening a story about traveling and what happened when something went wrong. In the speaking, we are going to describe an event. In the language, we are going to know how to use the past simple and the past continuous tenses. Unit 1 is called Getting Away, so it's speaking about traveling. Before we are going to start, I want you to read this question carefully and try to answer them by yourselves. Question number 1, why are tourists very important for a country? Question number 2, where do tourists go in Egypt and why do they go there? Question number 3, are a lot of tourists always a good thing for a country and why? Okay, let's know some answers for this question. Question number 1, why are tourists very important for a country? Because they can learn about another country and experience a different culture. Tourists help the economy because they spend money to stay in hotels, eat at restaurants, and visit monuments and museums. Where do tourists go in Egypt and why? They go to Giza, to pyramids, to Cairo, to Alex, Luxor, and Aswan to visit the historic monuments, and to seaside resorts like Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh to enjoy the Red Sea. Are a lot of tourists all the good thing for a country? Sometimes are usually very good thing for a country. However, there can be some problems because tourists often visit busy places, so the roads become more crowded and there is rubbish. Okay, let's deal with the main vocab. We have this picture which is about all the animals and the plants that exist in a place considered as a single system with parts that depend on each other. We call this, yes, ecosystem. Picture number 2, we have here some tourists who are swimming beside the fish. So this is a kind of holiday that helps local people and doesn't damage the natural environments. This is an ecotourism. This is a kind of animals which is no longer exist or just a few number, like an adjective that describes something that is in danger of disappearing forever. We call it endangered. This is a man who lives alone, maybe not a man, maybe a place which is very far from other places. So this is an adjective that describes something that is disconnected from other people or places. We can call it isolated. Or we have here all the kinds of nature. We have the air, the sky, the ground. So the air, water, and land on the earth, which are affected by man's activities and the natural world around us, we can call this environment. Okay, when we are going to build a building, we have many things which we can use, like sand, like metal, like iron, and wood. All of this we can call them the things that are used for making or doing something. We call them materials. Okay, so let's look at this duck. It's different from the other ducks. It's unusual. Again, the flower here is red, surrounded by yellow flowers, so it's unusual and very special. So it's unique. Okay, something which we can be used many times without it changing. It's an adjective to describe an activity that can be repeated because it doesn't harm the environment. It's sustainable. Okay, let's move to some places which is around us in the world like this. Yeah, it's a picture of the Red Sea in Egypt. Okay, and this is a kind of dragon. Yeah, it's a Komodo dragon and it's in Indonesia. This is lemur and the lemurs may be found in Madagascar. And this is a turtle, but it's not an easy or small one, it's a giant one, and they can be found in Ecuador. Okay, so we have here a reading task. I want to give you 3 minutes to read the passage, and then you choose which picture for any country. We have here picture A, B, C, and D. Yeah, so picture number A is for Egypt, picture number B is for Indonesia, picture letter C is for Madagascar, and the last one, of course, Ecuador. Okay, so we have here to read the text again and answer the question. Okay, number 1 is done for you, and number A for exercise 2 is done for you. Let's move to the next one. Which country has hotels built of environmentally friendly materials? It's Egypt. Which country has a beach with pink sand? It's Indonesia. Which country wants to protect its lemurias? It's Madagascar. So, question number 3, what do ecotourists often do? Yeah, they learn new things about keeping the environment safe. Question number 4, which sentence best summarizes the text? It's ecotourism provides holidays without harming the environment. Okay, we have here in exercise number 3. I will give you 1 minute to read the whole exercise and try to find suitable word for every sentence. Okay, number 1 is done for you. Number 2, some animals live in a very isolated parts of the world and people never see them. The tourist industry had a big impact on the local town. Excellent. The natural world around us is the environment. It's important to only use local materials when building an eco hotel. The Komodo dragon is unique to Indonesia. It doesn't live anywhere else. Number 7, ecotourism is for people who want a holiday which respects the environment. Number 8, we need to be sure the tourism here is sustainable, otherwise people will stop coming. Okay, in exercise number 3 we have a speaking task. In this task we have to discuss this question in pairs, so I want you everyone to read the question carefully and just write down your answers. How can a country benefit from ecotourism? Why is it important? How can you encourage ecotourism without harming the places people visit? Okay, so you have to think carefully about these ideas and then write an article or a paragraph about the pros and cons. What the meaning of pros and cons? The advantages and disadvantages of ecotourism in every country. Okay, let's move to the workbook for lesson 1. We have here some definition and we shall find the answer inside this puzzle. Number 1 is done for you. Let's move to number 2. An adjective that describes something that is in danger of disappearing forever. We can call it endangered. An adjective that describes something that is disconnected from other people and places. We can call it isolated. A noun that means the things that are used for making or doing something. Material. An adjective that describes an activity that can be repeated because it doesn't harm the environment. Sustainable. A noun that describes the effect that an action or a person has on someone or something. This is impact. An adjective that describes something special or the only one. It's, of course, unique. Let's move to the next exercise. Okay, we have here a reading task also. You have to read this task and try to choose the best summary for it and then try to find out if these sentences are true or false. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes to read the text carefully and then try to answer. Okay, so the best summary for this paragraph is: the water in Venice is destroying the city. Venice has too many visitors and this problem for the city. The local people want the council to stop visitors coming to the city. Okay, so the best title is letter C, of course. Okay, let's move to read the text again and try to know which is true or false. Number one is done for you. Number two, 20 million tourists will visit Venice each year. That's true. Boats damages a building in Venice. That's false. Okay, number four, the local council only want tourists to be happy. That's false also, because they want residents to be happy too. And the last one, tourists cannot visit the places around Venice now. False, they want them to visit the cities around them. Okay, so we have here a kind of homework. The local council is trying to find solution which keeps both tourists and local residents happy. So, can you think of some solution to help the local council? Okay, your task here is to think about a good solution for this problem and try to write it only in 3 or 2 lines. Okay, let's move to lesson 3. We have here another new vocab. Okay, what can you see in this picture? There's a kind of monkey, maybe larger. Yeah, a large ape with long arms and long orange brown hairs is called orangutan. Okay, let's move to the next one. Yeah, we know it. It's pepper. Yeah, containing chili or other spices that give a burning feeling. This is called, what we can call this kind of food. It's spicy food. Okay. Okay, so when you hit something with your leg, maybe hit by the door, by the bed, by anything, so it become larger and maybe you come in pain. So to become larger and rounder than normal, use the specially amount parts of the body. This is called swell up. Yeah, it's kind of pike. So when you're going to walk, when you're going to use a bicycle or walking by يعني on foot, so you can call it trek. A hike or walk on a difficult journey, this is called trek. Okay, what is this man doing? He is taking care of Lemurius. So he is a person whose job is to help protect natural things such as wild animals. He is called conservationist. Conservationist. Okay. So in lesson number 2 we have here a listening task. I want you to listen this task, or you can find it in any book that the text itself, so have a look at it and try to know more about this creature and about this story. We have here Luca who had went on a very bad holiday. So I want you to read it from any book or listen to it through the websites of the ministry and try to find out the answers. I will give you 2 minutes to listen carefully for the text. Okay, let's check the answer in exercise number 1. He wanted you to listen and take right for the problems that Lucas said he had only on his holiday. So what is the problems? Yeah, a spider bite him. Excellent. He lost his camera. Yeah. He was sick. Yes. And he lost his bags also. Okay, listen again and try to find out if these sentences are true or false and try to correct the false sentence. Okay, number 1 is done for you. Let's speak about number 2. Luca took a taxi to the orangutan center. This is false. He went by boat. He learned about the work that conversionists do. That's true. He ate lots of rice. That's true also. The conservationists give food to the orangutan. False, they are wild animal. The nearest hospital was close to the orangutan center. No. False, it was 200 kilometers away. So, in exercise number 2, he wanted you to get the meaning of this word. This we have taken it already. Don't lean over the balcony, you might fall. It means that you are not going to lean yourself so much that you are going to fall from the balcony. We said that spicy, any food that is very hot and it includes a lot of chili. If you fill a balloon with water, it will swell up. It means that it's going to be larger. The soldiers trekked into the desert. They walk or hike. The conservationists protect the wildlife. They are the people who like to conserve the environment. Okay, let's move to the next exercise, which is about the grammar lesson. I will give you 2 minutes to try to read this exercise and try to find out which answer is right or not. Okay, number 2. Salma was traveling around Indonesia when she broke excellent her leg. Yesterday we saw some beautiful fish in the Red Sea. Number 4. My cousin lived in Costa Rica as a child because my uncle was a biologist. Number 5. The tourists didn't enjoy swimming in the sea, it was too dirty. Number 6. While I was doing my homework, my mother was preparing dinner. 7. My grandparents never had a holiday in Alex when they were young. Number 8. Jackie was arranging to visit Madagascar before he started university. Okay, let's move to this exercise. Complete the text with the past simple or the past continuous form of the verbs. So you have to complete with the past simple or the past continuous. Last year I went to the 4 islands for a few days as a volunteer. I was both a tourist and a volunteer. I helped the locals to rebuild passes and walls. It was very hard work, but great fun, and I met other volunteers from all over the world. While I was working on the island, I talked to the people who lived there about life in such a remote place. On the second day, I climbed to the top of the hill when the wind blew my hat off. Fortunately, the family I was staying with gave me another, much warmer hat, which I kept as a souvenir. Okay, so our grammar lesson today is the past tenses, the past simple and the past continuous tense. Let's speak first about the past simple and past continuous. What's the difference between them? Look at these 2 examples. He walked a lot yesterday. He was studying yesterday at 6 o'clock. So, we have here he walked a lot yesterday. When I speak about an action which already finished in the past, okay, and I mentioned when, which is yesterday, this is the past simple tense. The past simple expressed about an action which started and finished in the past. But he was studying yesterday at 6 o'clock. When I'm speaking about an action which was in progress at a specific time in the past, like at 6 o'clock yesterday, this is the past continuous tense. So, the past continuous tense consists of the verb plus ed or the second form of the verb. But the past continuous consists of was or were plus the present participle or gerund or verb plus ing, whatever. Okay, so let's move to when we use the past simple. Pop bought a new car last month. When we speak about an action which happened at a definite time in the past, the time is stated already, non or implied, so I'm speaking about the past simple, like Pop bought a new car last month. He had already mentioned when, last month. Okay, number 2. The past simple is used to describe action or events that are now completed and no longer true. So it's finished. Like, I attended the course in 1998. I have already attended the course. I have taken a certificate, so it's finished. I watched the movie every weekend when I was teenager. So I'm speak about a habit which I already used to do when I was teenager. I used to watch a movie. I don't see movies anymore right now. So I'm speak about an action which already finished in the past. Okay, we can use about what? My grandmother read or used to read me bedtime stories when I was little. So here I'm speaking about the past habits. For past habits or states which are now finished, in such cases we can use the expression of used to. Okay, let's look at this example. First, he took a shower. Then he went to bed. When I speak about two or more three action which were in the background and so on, I can use all of them in the past simple. So for action which happened immediately one after the other in the past but they already finished, I can use the past simple. What is the time expression for the past simple? I can use yesterday, last night, last week, when I was young, 2 weeks, a month ago, in 1948, or in plus any date in the past, once upon a time, how long ago. All these time expression refer to the past simple tense. Okay, what about the past continuous? When we use the past continuous, number one, let's look at this example. At 8 o'clock yesterday evening, Tom was doing a research, okay, for an action which was in progress at started time in the past. So I'm speaking about not a finished action, no, an action which was in progress. I use the past continuous, was or were plus verb ing. Number two, we don't mention when the action started or finished, okay? He was exercising when he felt a sharp pain in his back. So, for past action which was in progress when another action interrupted it. We use it for the action in progress or the longer action we use the past simple, and for the action which interrupted it I use the shorter action. Okay, so again, when I'm speaking about an action which was continuous, like he was exercising, when another action interrupted in, like I felt the pain, he felt the pain, I use the past simple. So for the longer action which was continuous, past continuous. For the interrupted action, past simple. Another example, while I was studying my lessons, the light went out. So while I was studying my lessons, this was the longer action which take a long time. What interrupted it is that the light went out. So I use the past simple for this. Okay. So in this example, I may use when and I may use while. In while is followed by the past continuous and then the past simple. When the vice versa, it's followed by the past simple and then the past continuous. Let's move to another usage. Sarah was watching TV while I was reading a novel. So I'm speaking here about two actions which were in progress at the same time in the past. For two or more actions which were happening at the same time in the past, I use both of them past continuous. But take care, in this kind of usage, I may use two subjects, not one subject. Sarah was doing something, I was doing something else. Okay, so Sarah was watching TV while I was reading a novel. Okay, let's move to this next one. The teacher was explaining the lesson and the pupils were writing and answering when the headmistress arrived. Here I'm speaking about or I'm giving a background information in a story. So in this kind of usage I may use the past continuous and the past simple also. What are the time expression for the past continuous? While, as or just as, they are followed by the past continuous and then past simple, or maybe past continuous if I'm speaking about two actions which were in progress in the same time in the past. When is followed by past simple and then past continuous. We have here all day yesterday, all night morning, yesterday at 8 o'clock, last Friday at night, any specific time in the past. Let's move to do some exercise. I will give you 2 minutes to read the choose and try to answer it by yourselves. Okay, number one, she was watching the news when the phone rang, because here we have when. So what comes before it, past continuous. What comes after when, past simple. Number two, they left the building an hour ago. Excellent. The police deceived last night. Last night, he didn't mention when, so it's past simple. Arrested. The maid, a valuable vase while she space. The maid broke the valuable vase while she was dusting. Okay, let's move to the rewrite. I ran in the park, meanwhile I fell down. I wanted someone to use while. While, as we said before, it's followed by past continuous and then past simple. So which tense of this or which sentence can be a longer action? I ran in the park. I was running in the park. So I may say while I was running in the park, I fell down. Number two, I wanted someone to use when. When is the vice versa. It's followed by past simple and then past continuous. So when I fell down, I was running in the park. Okay, if I want someone to use during have the same meaning of while, but there is big difference here. While is followed by full sentence like the example, I was running in the park, but during is followed by a noun. So if I wanted this sentence to be during, or I use during in it, I may use during running the noun in the park I fell down. So if I wanted to use running by itself, we know and we have taken it before that while or any conjunction that is not followed by a subject, I may use gerund or verb plus ing, like while running in the park I fell down. Okay, let's move to the next slide. I ran in the park at the same time my brother rode his bike. So here I'm speak about two action which was happening at the same time. In this case I use while, but both of them past continuous. While I was running in the park, my brother was riding his bike. Okay, another example. My mother made lunch at the same time my father read the newspapers. So both of them were continuous, and I want someone to use as. As my mother, excellent, was making lunch, my father was reading the newspaper. Okay, we have here a sentence with during, and he wanted you to use just as. As we said before, just as, and while, all of them have the same rule. They are followed by past continuous and then past simple. So I may convert this word into a full sentence. How? Just as we were eating lunch or we were having lunch, we heard a noise. Okay, this is the grammar inside the book. We are going to answer it through the workbook. Let's move to the workbook. Okay, we have here some picture and we shall actually match the words and the expression. So number one is done for you. Let's speak about picture number two. Yes, it's letter E. My dad loves Mexican food, but it's too spicy for me. Okay. 3, letter A. Our last holiday we walked for 3 days through the rainforest. Picture 4, letter B. Your arm can swell up when a mosquito bites you. Last one is letter D. Ahmed wants to be a conservationist to protect animals and the plants. In exercise number 2, he wanted you to actually write all the sentence in the past continuous. So it's so easy for you. Number 1 is done for you. Kamal was swimming in a pool. Number 2, Kamal's family were taking selfie with the pyramids. Number 3, Kamal was sunbathing on the beach. Number 4, Kamal's family was having lunch at the restaurant. And the last one, Kamal was sailing in the sea. Let's move to the next exercise. In this exercise, he wanted you complete the text with the past simple or the past continuous form of the verbs in brackets. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes, then I will check your answers. Okay, number 2 is Excellent. We're talking, sorry. Number three, did you have? Excellent. Number four, did you do? Number five, was. Number six, did. Number seven, went. Eight, was learning. Number 10, laughed. And number 9, was eating. Okay, let's move to the next lesson 3. Before you start, he wanted you to read this question. Why do you usually, what do you usually do during your school holiday? And how do you feel during your school holiday? Okay, I want you to think and to try to write down your own answers. Okay, so we have here two characters, two plugs for two characters, James, and I want you to read this and find out how does he feel about his holiday. So you have 1 minute to read what has he done in his holiday and actually how did he feel during the holiday. Okay, so how did James feel? Yeah, James is excited, so excited. Okay, and it appears through his expression. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon means I'm very happy, I'm very excited. And we have here Kate. I want you to read Kate and find out how does she feel during her holiday. Okay, so Kate is bored of her holiday. Let's do the next exercise. Answer the question right, Kate or James or both of them. Number one is done for you. Number two, who is enjoying himself? James. Who learned something new? James. Who helped grow something? Kate. Who enjoyed something they didn't expect to? Both. And do you think they made a good use of their holiday? And why not everyone write your own answer, please? We have here some expression which we should remember well. Over the moon, we said it before, it means I'm very excited, I'm so happy. I'm stuck, it means I'm forced to stay here, okay? Like we were stuck to stay at home for a long month. Again, I'm forced to stay at home. Loads of things means I have a lot of things to do. Okay, let's move to the workbook. In the workbook, we have read the advertisement for 4 different holidays. And how many adverts offer good food? Okay, I want you to read and find out or choose the one for each sentence. Okay, let's read them. Those are the rest of the advertisement. One about eco trip and the other about a cruise to remember. Okay, so let's answer. Number two would be letter C. Number three would be letter B. Number four would be letter A, of course. Okay, here we have, before we are going to start, we have to have a look at this pictures. Okay, picture number one may be a beach, picture number two may be some people who are going ice skating, picture number three may be a historical place, picture number D may be an island. So we have here some vocabulary which can describe places like active, ancient, beautiful, boring, busy, calm, crowded, exotic, isolated, modern, new, noisy, old, peaceful, relaxing, and quiet. Okay, so let's choose a suitable answer for every one of this. If we wanted to describe picture number B, we can describe it as active because they are doing activity, busy, there are a lot of people, it's beautiful, of course, maybe noisy, okay, maybe new. Let's move to picture number C. In picture number C, it may be an ancient place, but it's still beautiful. Maybe boring for some people, maybe relaxing and peaceful for other people. It according to the person himself. In picture number D, we can see that this placing is peaceful, relaxing, maybe isolated, maybe exotic. Okay, so all this actually adjective can describe all this picture. He wants you to match the word to the picture. You can use each word more than once as we used it and write it in your notebook. So you have to write according to your own answer which one or which adjective can describe this place. Okay, let's move to the next one. We have here read about Laura Holiday. Put the sentence from A to H in the correct order. So you have to read first and then check your answers if these answers are right or wrong. Okay, let's move to the writing. Here, he want you to, when you are going to write a text in order, you have to use one of this. So you maybe use on the first day what we did, and then after that what happened, and next what happened, and last year what happened, and then finally. So I may use this expression when I'm going to write an essay or a writing task about story, or may be used, I'm sorry, when you are going to write it to describe a place that you have been to. So I may use this words, okay, and you can read the reading task before to know how did she write about her holiday. Okay, let's move to the exercises which is in the workbook. Number one is done for you. I want you to read the sentence carefully and try to choose the best one. Okay, something that makes you feel relaxed and not stressed. So this place is relaxing. Something that makes you feel excited. So this place is exciting, excellent. A place which is a long distance from other places. This is isolated. Feeling calm, quiet, without any problems. This is peaceful. This is unusual and often different place or sorry, different country. Exotic. Something which is new and connected to the present. It's modern. When a place have lots of people, this is called crowded. Let's move to the vocab which is in the story Treasure Island. We have known that Treasure Island is free reading, but we only are going to deal with the vocab. Okay, so what can you see in this picture? What can we call this? Okay, let's see the definition. A mark left as in the skin by the healing of an injured. All of this we can call it scar. Okay, it's a kind of mountain, a very steep surface of rock or earth or ice. We can call it cliff. A weapon which we use to kill or to defend ourselves. A weapon with long metal plate that has a sharp point and edge is called sword. Okay, if someone is tired and he didn't sleep for a long time and we found that his face actually is whiter, okay, having a skin color that is closer to white than usual or normal, that is a pale. Okay, this place unusual and often from a different country, it's exotic. Okay, let's answer exercise number one, which is about this. You have 2 minutes to read and try to answer it by yourselves. Okay, let's check your answers. Number one, letter C, excellent. Number two, letter A. Number three, letter D. Number four, letter B. Number five, letter E. Let's move to the exercises only about vocabulary. Choose the correct answer from the list. We have here the word guard, to protect something. O, when I actually take some money from a person, or I borrow some money from a person, so I owe him money. Grab is to take something strongly. In is a kind of hotel, and blind is for the people who cannot see. Number one, he is blind, he can't see. I need someone to guard my villa. I spend the night in an inn. Jack lent me some money. I owe him 1,000 pounds. 2. Grab is to take hold of something suddenly. Okay, let's move to the exercise in the workbook, which is only about the vocabulary. Although they cannot see, blind people can often hear better than other people. The taxi stopped and Lena asked the driver how much money she owed. Okay, when I was little, my brother asked me to climb a tree in the park, but I didn't dare. The beach is busy today, so can you guard my bag? My grandfather worked at night and didn't see the sun very often, so he is pale. Ali has a scar on his hand after he cut it with a knife. Be careful if you walk that way. There is a big cliff and you don't want to fall. Okay, so here we have some exercises which I want you to read it carefully and try to answer it by yourselves. It's already answered. Check your answer, and I wish you understand all what I had explained. Thank you for listening to me, and goodbye.